WLIJ.
I'm just a common man, drive a common van.
98.7 and AM 1580.
You're listening to the All Veterans Hour on WLIJ, engaging discussion by veterans for veterans. With your hosts, Gary Leverette and Jimmy Miller. They are discussing veterans programs and issues, playing veteran-related music, and keeping American citizens informed on things they ought to know. Every second and fourth Monday on 98.7 and AM 1580, and also on WLIJradio.com. The All Veterans Hour on WLIJ is brought to you by the American Legion Post 23, the DAV Chapter 43, and the VFW Post 5019.
Good morning, Shelbyville, Bedford County, surrounding areas. Welcome to the All Veterans Hour. I'm Gary Leverette with my co-host Jimmy Miller. Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning. Good morning to all our listeners.
And we have a special guest this morning, the VFW newly elected Commander Jim Painter. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we'll be talking to Jim this morning about VFW meetings and things they got going on. That they are a very active organization, and they're always looking for new members. So we try to use this hour as a recruiting tool. And we'll be playing some veteran-related music also along the way. So, Jimmy, how'd your week go?
Well, last week we had a busy week. The American Legion, if you happen to come through gates A or B out at the fairgrounds, the American Legion run the gates. It was a fun time, met a lot of nice people. I do want to say thank you to Cascade School. Their coaches and football team were the Parkers for us out in the field. They did a great job. No complaining, just energetic, happy people. So if you have one of those kids, thank you. You've got some great kids.
All right, let's get to know Jim Painter a little bit. Jim, good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about your military service.
Well, I went in really a little bit later. I turned 21 actually in boot camp. I wasn't one of those that needed to go in right out of high school. I wanted to see if there was something else out there first. But I joined the Navy when I was, like I said, I turned 21 in boot camp, and spent 20 years. To be honest with you, I had a really good time in the Navy. I joined it basically because I grew up in a little one-horse town in the middle of Nebraska, and I'd never seen the ocean, and I wanted to go to visit other countries. I wanted to see how other people lived. And I spent a lot of time in the Far East, in Asia, and there's not too many countries over there that I actually didn't visit. I mean, from Japan to Australia to Guam to Hawaii to Korea to, and Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong. There's been so many of them that I just don't even remember them all. But did that, and then taught school in Vallejo, California, which is a little bit north of San Francisco, and ended up there when it was time for me to retire. And after that I moved to the Great Northwest up in Portland, Oregon area, and worked in the high-tech industry for approximately 20 years, and now I'm fully retired and just trying to enjoy life.
Well, Jimmy came into our VFW, and before he could get turned around good, he was a senior vice. He got elected real fast, but anyway, and then the second year he got elected commander, so he is the newly elected commander of the VFW. And Jimmy, tell us about the meeting times for these organizations.
This is going to get a little confusing today because there's two Jimmys in the room. So our American Legion Post 23, the meeting time is the first Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. We are located at 1357 Tennessee 130 East. We have meals provided by Rowdy Ranch. All we ask is you bring a side. And as always, spouses are welcome to our meetings. The VFW, Post 5019. They meet the first Monday of the month. The meeting is located at 1320 Depot Street. On the second Saturday of the month, they offer a breakfast from 0700 to 0930. Adults are $10. Children 6 and under are free. Then on the third Saturday, they offer live music. It's at 6 p.m. The charge is $3, and all they ask is you bring a side dish. And as always, VFW, auxiliary and spouses are welcome. And the DAV, Chapter 43, they meet on the second Tuesday of the month. They're also located at 1357 Tennessee 130 East. They also have Rowdy Ranch provides meat, and all we ask you bring a covered dish, and spouses are always welcome at that meeting.
All right. Well, we've got a lot going on in our organizations. You know, there are about 4,000 veterans in Bedford County, and we don't even have 1% of them at our meetings. We have more than 1% that are members, but as far as active members, I think probably about, 25, Jimmy, in the VFW, and probably about the same amount in the American Legion and the DAV. So we're looking to recruit new members. We do a lot of good work. We help our community, we help our youth, but mostly we help our veterans. So if you're interested, get in touch with one of the organizations. We'd be glad to have you. And we eat good. We always eat good. Spouses are welcome at all our meetings. And we always just try to play a little bit of music, veteran-related music. So our first song this morning is going to be American Heart, Faith Hill.
Still
listening to the All Veterans Hour on WLIJ, engaging discussion by veterans for veterans, with your hosts Gary Leverette and Jimmy Miller. They are discussing veterans programs and issues, playing veteran-related music, and keeping American citizens informed on things they ought to know. Every second and fourth Monday on 98.7 and AM 1580, and also on WLIJradio.com. The All Veterans Hour on WLIJ is brought to you by the American Legion Post 23, the DAV Chapter 43, and the VFW Post 5019.
All right, that was Faith Hill singing American Heart. So we're here this morning with Jimmy Miller, my co-host, and Jim Painter, the VFW commander. And we're highlighting the VFW this week. And we've had the other two commanders in, but Jimmy's new, so we decided we'd get him in here and pick his brain a little bit. So, Jimmy, tell us about the VFW. What are the requirements to be a member of the VFW?
Well, the VFW itself has extended its ability, shall we say. It used to be pretty hard. You had to be in a foreign combat zone in order to become eligible to join the VFW, but it expanded a little bit. Expeditionary medals are now allowed into the VFW, and foreign campaigns seem to be one that we were discussing during the break, during the song. Jimmy, you have a little bit more information on that than I do?
I do. And I know on this show several times we've went over what you need to be in the VFW, and we've always used foreign wars. Well, now, foreign wars don't always mean that you've been on foreign soil, because with technology and the way the world has changed, a lot of times you can be sitting here in the United States and working on a foreign war, and how you're going to know this is you've either got the Iraq campaign medal, the Iran campaign medal, Inherent Resolve. There's a couple others, but they will be on your DD-214. So if you think that you might not be eligible for the VFW, look at your DD-214. If you have one of those war campaign medals, you are eligible to join the VFW.
And again, the VFW meets the first Monday night of each month. What's that address, Jimmy?
The VFW is located at 1320 Depot Street.
And at 6 p.m., 1800 for the military guys. And they always have a meal. They have an auxiliary. Wives are welcome. Come on out and join them and get involved, because we do a lot for the community, a lot for our youth, and a lot for our veterans. Jimmy, you want to give us a little more information about the VFW?
Well, we're an all-American post, and from what I understand, we have been an all-American post for at least 2 years, and that people have been trying to drop into my ear that it's 3 years, but I cannot verify that. But also due to our ability to be an all-American post, and I'll tell you what that means here in a minute. But the whole area, has become an all-American.
You're talking about this district?
District, thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. An all-American district, which is all of the posts in this district have made all-American. Now, an all-American post, you must maintain a membership annually of 102%. So not only are we trying to maintain the membership that we have presently, but we're also trying to recruit new members. And it can be sometimes difficult. This is probably one of our most difficult aspects trying to do it. You also have a lot of little paperwork that must be submitted from the VFW to the national VFW headquarters. But generally speaking, the big one is the membership and a community service of some type. It can, and that might not sound as difficult as it is, because, as Jim said, he was over there looking at the fair, and it can be as simple as donations to your local church or volunteer work that you have done in the community. So it's really not that difficult to do. And the real important one, a minimum purchase every year of 500 poppies. So being an All-American Post is really important to everyone. But the big one, like we say, is trying to get the vets in there, and sometimes it's difficult. Younger vets tend to not even think about it. And I have to admit, I was definitely one of those that said, no, I'll get to it eventually. And I did. But that's more of a situation that we can talk about a little bit later.
All-American Post, like Jim said, the key to it is we have to keep our membership up. And sometimes the members pass away, and so to get 102%, you got to get more than what you had last year, every year. So that can be difficult. But they've managed to do it this will be the third year, right?
That's the rumor. I know it's at least our second year, but it could be our third year, yes.
I know it's third year.
Oh, you know. Okay.
Yeah, third year. Yeah.
You were here. I was not.
Yeah. I'm a member of the Legion, the DAV, and the VFW, but sometimes I don't know which one I'm going to. But anyway, so I'm glad to have you here this morning, Jimmy. Thank you for coming.
It's not a problem. My pleasure.
We'll come back to you here in a few minutes. And Brandon, let's go with Made in America, Toby Keith.
Breaks his heart seeing foreign cars
listening to the All Veterans Hour on WLIJ, engaging discussion by veterans for veterans. With your hosts, Gary Leverette and Jimmy Miller. They are discussing veterans programs and issues, playing veteran-related music, and keeping American citizens informed on things they ought to know. Every second and fourth Monday on 98.7 and AM 1580, and also on WLIJradio.com. The All Veterans Hour on WLIJ is brought to you by the American Legion Post 23, the DAV Chapter 43, and the VFW Post 5019.
All right, we're back for our next segment. We heard from Toby Keith there, Made in America. Here this morning with Senior Vice Commander Jimmy Miller of the American Legion and Commander Jim Painter of the VFW Post 5019, and discussing our veterans organizations, trying to recruit some people. We need members, no doubt about it. We need members. We have about probably 15 that come to the American Legion meeting, and sometimes we have 20 at the VFW meeting, DAV, sometimes we'll have 20 at it. But anyway, out of 4,000 veterans, that's not many that are active. We have a lot more members, but only about that many that are active. I think the DAV's the largest. We have about 150 paid members. American Legion has 80 paid members, and the VFW, Jimmy, you know where you're at. Last I heard, it was somewhere in the 70, 80.
Yeah, it's
80 group.
Right around 70 to 80 is correct, and we actually got 4 or 5 new members here, so I can't give you an exact number right now.
But anyway, if you're interested in joining any of these organizations, you can call me, and I can get you in touch with whoever you need to see to get in the organization. And my number is 931-580-2865. 931-580-2865. Because we're looking to expand. We take care of our veterans. We have a Veterans Council, and the Veterans Council, if you're a member, paid up member of any of these organizations, that makes you a member of the Veterans Council. And the Veterans Council is run by a board of directors that are nominated by each organization. It's a group of 11. Also, that organization, the Veterans Council, by law has to have an annual meeting, and that will be coming up in September. So anyway, look forward to seeing some of you guys. Come on in and join us. Let's talk a little bit about if you need a ride to your doctor's appointment. We're one of the only counties that will pick you up at your house, deliver you to your doctor's appointment, and bring you back to your house. Most counties, if you want to ride to your doctor's appointment, you have to meet at a central location. They'll take you from that central location to your doctor's appointment and bring you back. But we do better than that. We pick you up at your house and bring you back to your house. The reason we do that, some people don't even have a ride to get to the central location. So if you don't have that ride, you can't go. So we try to go above and beyond to help our veterans. Bill Tucker has 2 other drivers. There are 3, Jackie Burks, David Easter, and Bill Tucker. Bill's phone number is 931-607-7178. It's a good idea to give him 48 hours notice. We know that can't always happen because sometimes the VA changes things at the last minute. But if you can, give him 48 hours notice. That's Bill Tucker, 931-607-7178. Bill does a great job. He's been at this for a while. He drives the van. Then we have 2 other vehicles. We need to replace those vehicles, and we're trying to work on replacing them, but they're about wore out. So anybody got any ideas about how we can replace two vehicles for the veterans, let us know. Also, if you need paperwork filled out for the VA, it's important, if you're eligible for the VA, at least get into the VA system, because you never know when that catastrophic event in your life will occur. I heard it say, well, I'm okay, I'm in good health, I don't need the VA, somebody else needs it more than me. Well, you raised your right hand, you said that you would defend this country and its Constitution, and for that they said they would take care of your health care needs, so you earned it. So get in the VA system. I know that for me, if it wasn't for the VA, I'd be bankrupt, because I did have cancer back in 2015. The VA took care of me, never had to pay a penny, and they do a good job. Biggest complaint I hear about the VA is, I'm sick now, but I can't see my primary care for 90 days. Can't get an appointment for 3 months. You don't have to wait for an appointment if you're sick, if you're injured. All you got to do is go to the urgent care in Murfreesboro or to the ER in Nashville, and they will treat you, and they will send your primary care doctor a note, and probably on by email, that you were in the urgent care or the ER, and they treated you and what they did for you. So you don't have to wait 90 days to get your primary care appointment if you're sick now. So trying to get that out there, because that's the biggest complaint I hear. I'm sick, but I can't see my primary care. Well, they're still going to take care of you. So, and Bill Tucker will get you to your doctor's appointment. And Ben Ely is our VSO, and he will fill out the paperwork for you to get your VA benefits or try to get you in the VA, whatever you need. Go see Ben. But by all means, make an appointment, because that is a busy office up there. And you don't want to go up there and be sitting there an hour while he's working with somebody else, because sometimes it takes an hour to get all the information that he needs to see to it that you're getting the benefits that you deserve. And Ben does a good job, and his administrative assistant, Kara, does a good job. She's brand new, but she's doing good. She's in the training stage right now, so be patient with her. I'm sure she does a good job. On the south side of the square, we have our memorial. If you go up on the square in Shelbyville, go around to the south side, you'll see our Veterans Memorial. On that memorial, you'll see a statue of a young boy and a statue of a soldier. You'll also see brick pavers. And these brick pavers have veterans' names on them. Some of the veterans have passed away, but some of them have not. You don't have to have passed away to have a brick on that memorial. The eligibility requirements to have that brick is you can be born in Bedford. If you were born in Bedford County, that automatically makes you eligible if you served in the military. Also, if you live in Bedford County or have lived in Bedford County, that makes you eligible. If you are a member of the DAV, the American Legion, or the VFW, that makes you eligible. So if you have a father, brother, spouse that's a veteran, and you would like to memorialize them, the way to do that is to purchase a brick to go on our pavers. The cost of the brick's $150. You go to the VSO office, and either Kara or Ben will take care of that for you. There's information that you have to fill out, what you want on the brick, and then they will get that done. Again, that cost is $150, but it makes a good present. And I have seen guys tear up because their family bought them a brick, and they didn't know it was coming. So if you want to do something good for your veteran, get them a brick. Get them a brick. One more time, get them a brick. Go see Ben Ely. Ben will fill out your paperwork for you. All right. Let me tell you about two organizations that help veterans. One is Project Healing Waters. Project Healing Waters is an organization that teaches veterans to fly fish. They send them on outings. I know me personally, they sent me to the Rose River in Virginia, and they sent me to Branson, Missouri to fish the White River. Did not cost me a dime. They footed the whole bill. They are an organization that helps disabled veterans. I've seen veterans sitting in a wheelchair in the middle of in the middle of a river fly fishing. I've seen veterans with one arm or no legs fly fishing. They foot the whole bill. They give them the equipment. They teach them to use the equipment. It costs about $700 per veteran to outfit one veteran for those organizations, and it does not cost the veterans anything. It helps with their PTSD. It helps get their minds off of trouble. They teach them to tie flies. They teach them to build rods. And again, it doesn't cost the veteran anything. So if you're interested in that, again, you can contact me and we'll put you in touch with how to get there. Another organization is Operation Song. Operation Song was started by Bob Reagan. Bob was a Nashville songwriter, and he and Don Goodman started Operation Song several years ago. And the way that works is you go to one of their meetings, and usually it's a class of 4 or 5, maybe 6 veterans and 2 Nashville songwriters, or one, sometimes just one Nashville songwriter. And it's kind of, most veterans won't talk about their service, especially a combat veteran doesn't talk much about their service. So they're a little bit reluctant to talk when they first go into Operation Song, because there's a stranger that's never been in the military sitting there listening. But they're there to help tell your story in a song. And they've done it with probably thousands now, because it's all over the country. It's an awesome organization. And again, that doesn't cost the veteran anything. I know Jim Short and I both are members of that organization. And it's an outlet for a veteran, because he gets in a room with other combat veterans or just other veterans. And another veteran will talk to another veteran about things that they won't talk to their family about. So it's a release. It really is. And that's called Operation Song. Another one is Freedom Sings. Don Goodman with Freedom Sings. Bob Reagan's with Operation Song. They both do the same thing. One's out of Chattanooga, one's out of Nashville. So if anybody's interested in that, call me. I'll put you in touch. And Brandon, you ready? Let's do Where the Stars and Stripes and the Eagle Flies. That's Aaron Tipping.
Well, if you ask me where I come from, here's what I tell everyone. I was born by God's dear grace in an extraordinary place, where the stars and stripes and the eagle fly. ain't enough to know that you've got it good. Where the stars and stripes and the eagle fly. There's a lady that stands in a harbor for what we believe. And there's a bell that still echoes the price that it costs to be free. I pledge allegiance to this flag. And if that bothers you, well, that's too bad. But if you got pride and you're proud you do, hey, we could use some more like me and you. Where the stars and stripes and the eagle fly. Stands in a harbor for what we believe. And there's a bell that still echoes the price that it costs to be free. No, it ain't the only place on earth, but it's the only place that I prefer to love my wife and raise my kids, hey, the same way that my daddy did. Where the stars and stripes and the eagle fly. Where the stars and stripes and the eagle fly.
All right. Gary Leverette here with Jimmy Miller and Jim Painter. Jim Miller, tell me what you want to talk about, brother.
Well, since we started this show with VFW and the membership, I wanted to bring up the fact that this year is the 125th anniversary of the VFW. That's a long time. And as everybody's heard, that freedom's always one generation away. Well, these three organizations are the same way. We're only one generation away from these organizations going away. And these organizations, they're responsible for our DI bill, the PACT Act, the changing in care at the VA. These organizations fight on behalf of the veterans' benefits. And I know right now Washington, D.C. is a dumpster fire. But at some point that fire is going to go out. And we need our voices to be heard with whatever administration gets in, so that more good changes come about for veterans of this country. And our organizations here locally, we give scholarships, we send people to Boys and Girls States, we help with events in the community. But being as we have all three organizations sitting at this table, I can tell you that we want to do more for Bedford County veterans. But in order to do more, we need more members. The more members we have, the more events we can have, the more we can support our local community. So if you're wondering why it would be a good idea for you to join these organizations, this is the reason, because I'd love to tell you that we've fought our last war and that there won't be generations of veterans coming behind us, but they will. So I encourage you to join one of these organizations, help your current veterans, and help the veterans that are coming after you, because we're the ones that help make those big changes that they benefit from.
You know, Jimmy, what you said is absolutely true. We help our youth, we help our community, not just the veterans. We send several kids to Boys State and Girls State. We feed the hungry. At Christmas time, we fill 250 food boxes and deliver them at Christmas. That takes money. Without the help of our community, we couldn't do that. We work hard trying to help the community. We put on, I know, to raise money, we put on a golf tournament for the American Legion. The community supports us. We do a turkey shoot in the fall at Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving, and other events. We have picnics. We have appreciation meetings where we'll have a hot dog, hamburger, barbecue lunch for our supporters, and a lot of times they'll support us by giving us money when they come to that. So, we have to have the money to operate, because just our dues that the members pay, a lot of that dues goes to the state, and a lot of the dues goes to the national. And Jimmy, you got something you want to...
Yeah, I was going to say, not only besides just getting the people, the reason that we also need some new blood in here is because, let's face it, we're all getting old. And some of the things that we do takes, such as delivering these food boxes and stuff like that, sometimes it takes a little bit of a younger person to actually get these boxes moved around. And sometimes it just takes the actual numbers itself just to get them from point A to point B. And, you sit there, and I know that last year when I did it, we were running all day trying to get these people their food, and we ran out of daylight. We ran out of daylight with some of those things. So it's not just that, but also trying to get the volunteerism to come out and help us support the actual community itself. There's just, seriously, sometimes we just run out of bodies.
It takes 3 days to do what we do at Christmas. We have to get the food to the location, and then we have to fill the boxes. However, we've got the filling the boxes down to I guess you'd say a science, kind of, because we can fill 250 food boxes in 2.5 hours. We've done it the last 2 years. And this is, that is actually called the Big Brothers program, and it's American Legion program, but the VFW and the DAV helped the American Legion with that program. That's supported by all three organizations, even though I know as a young child, I remember American Legion coming knocking on our door on Sunday mornings. Hey, will you help us with this? We're gonna feed the hungry in Bedford County. And my dad would give him what he could, so that's been going on for a long time. Because I'm 77 years old, so that's at least 70 years. Because I was a young child when I remember them coming to our door. So anyway, that's something that we need help with, and it takes money.
Yeah, and I know some people think, well, I don't have time for all this, because everybody does have busy lives, and especially if you're a younger veteran, you're in the phase where you're married, you've got some kids, and we don't need a big commitment. I don't need 200 hours of your time a year. You don't have to attend every meeting. If you can make a meeting every now and then, and maybe one of these events comes up and you can donate 8 hours, that is awesome. But as we grow as an organization, if you've got 4,000 people trying to cover a few hours time span, it don't take a lot. But when you've got 20 of us and 15 of them are over 80, well, it's a little bit more of a struggle. So I just encourage you to join these organizations, get involved in the community, and not only that, but the camaraderie ship. I mean, these are your fellow veterans, and we know you can't walk in a room with another veteran and not have an hour conversation about nothing. So it's really good. It's a great support system. And I just encourage, if you're listening, we could use you. Please come out. Just attend a meeting. You don't even have to join. Attend a meeting and see what we're all about.
Our meetings are actually fun.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're fun. We get a lot done. Jimmy Painter reminded me of an organization that I forgot to mention, and that's the Honor Flight. The Honor Flight is awesome. It goes from Middle Tennessee. They fly from Middle Tennessee to Washington, D.C. You have to be a veteran. And they started off, they were doing World War I veterans. Well, they're no more World War I veterans. Very few World War II veterans. But if there are World War II veterans, they get priority. Then the Korean veterans come next for priority. Then the Vietnam veterans. When you put in for that and you're chosen to go on that trip, it's an awesome trip. They fly you to Washington, D.C. to see all the monuments, and you have a sponsor that goes with you that will take care of you. If you are in a wheelchair, somebody will push you. If you are on a walker, they will take time to see that you get where you need to be. And when you go through the airport and the crowd in the airport sees that it's a group of veterans, all of a sudden it breaks out in an ovation, I guess you would say. People clapping and thanking you for what you did. You go to Washington, D.C., and they feed you. Then they take you by bus to Fort Meade and feed you an evening meal. When you cross into the Maryland state line, two Maryland state troopers pick the bus up, sirens blasting, and they take you from Washington, D.C. to Fort Meade. And you have an evening meal at Fort Meade. It's a one-day thing. You leave before daylight, and you come home probably around midnight. But it's worth it. It's worth it. And like I say, they have sponsors on there to help you, if you're disabled, to help you with your whatever needs you have. And that's called the Honor Flight. It's a great thing. If you haven't been and you're eligible, get your name on the list. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. The only thing is your spouse cannot go with you. They will have a sponsor go with you to take care of you. But again, it's an awesome thing. And so, if you're interested in Project Healing Waters or Operation Song or the Honor Flight, give me a call. We'll get you on the list. Give me a call. We'll get you in a meeting. Give Jim Painter a call. He'll get you in the VFW.
503-853-9485. That's for the VFW Commander, James Painter. 503-853-9485.
And for the American Legion,
You can call the other Jimmy in the room at 931-581-5948.
and if you're interested in the DAV, you can call me at 931-580-2865. And we're glad to get you signed up. And life membership in the DAV and the VFW are very reasonable. Membership in the American Legion is $50 a year, not a month, $50 a year. So that's pretty reasonable too. we're going to go with Brandon. Let's go with Johnny Cash and the Ragged Old Flag. Vice Commander Jimmy Miller of the American Legion and Commander Jim Painter of the VFW. We thank you for tuning in this week. I think we've had a pretty good show, put out some good information. Come join us. Help us just do what we do, because we need your help. And you won't be sorry, because it's very gratifying. It is. When you help somebody, it makes it all worth it. It makes it all worth it, because especially when you go into those homes at Christmas and you see how some people have to live and that they don't even have money for food for a Christmas lunch or a Christmas dinner, and you see Granny sitting over in the corner crying because now she's going to have a Christmas dinner, and you see the kids smile when they come through. Makes it worth it all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, Jimmy Painter and Jimmy Miller. Thank y'all for being in here this morning. And we're going to let Ray Charles take us out.